back in 2016. Now we've been doing this since 2000. It was I think we bought our RV at the end of July 2016 or either August, but either way we moved into it September 1st 2016.
That was Gabriel. Hey, I'm Fatty.
And I'm Julie. You're not really Fatty though.
Well, and we are the
Parsons passing through.
You sure about that?
Yes.
Okay.
For now.
Okay.
For now, we're the Parsons passing through. So today we want to talk to you guys about our why. When you're doing something in life, you need to remember and reminisce and kind of focus on why you're doing it. And then two, we've had questions as well about why we're crazy enough to full-time RV, be in full-time ministry, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So why do we do what we do?
Good question.
Listen up. Okay, so the reason we do what we do is not because we want to go out on great adventures, but we do, but that's not the reason. It's not because we, want to be free to travel and all that kind of stuff. While we do like that aspect, that's not why we do what we do. We are full-time RVers because the Lord has called us to be full-time RVers for such a time as this.
That's right.
We actually Johnny never thought that we'd be doing this, right? Back in 2016. Now we've been doing this since 2000. It was I think we bought our RV at the end of July 2016 or either August, but either way we moved into it September 1st 2016.
That was Gabriel. I guess
Yeah.
you could post a picture of it.
Yeah, we can put a picture up, but it was sort of orchestrated by the Lord. It's not something that we. I did do some research, but I feel like the Lord had me researching because it was something we were going to be doing.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really want to do it as much as actually I didn't want to do it at all at first, and Julie wanted to do it. It was her idea, and she wanted to get out of the house.
No.
Get an RV and
hit
the road.
Falling in love with the idea, but it could never have happened unless the Lord orchestrated it. Could have never happened. I think that sometimes the Lord allows me to fall in love with an idea because He's leading us to do it. So we don't do this for the adventure alone. A lot of RVers, they're full-time RVers because they're seeking adventure, seeking a life of freedom, and while those are great benefits to what we do, that's not why we do what we do. We actually are doing this because it's a calling. We feel called to minister at the campgrounds. We feel called to minister at truck stops. And really this enables us to have the freedom to travel at a whim. Like this weekend, we're headed out to Tennessee. If we didn't have an RV, we'd have to worry about getting our dog taken care of and having somebody house sit, those kind of things. But because we're mobile, it really enables us to do this thing that we're called to do.
Plus, if we had a house, then we would have to bring in a lot more than we do doing full-time ministry. Really not a whole lot of money in full-time ministry. So that's part of the reason that I'm on board with living in the RV and traveling, and because I like to sing, and we got some things coming up that we're excited about and singing, and so that's what's really inspiring me to keep going and keep doing it.
Yeah. So it's not always easy. As you know, if you're branched out and you're full-time RVing already and you're living the life of full-time RVer, you have freedom, but there's a lot that goes into it. It's not living a vacation life. There's just a lot of upkeep, a lot of maintenance, a lot of work that goes into this, and it's not always easy. Sometimes you have to go without, a lot of electricity. We have to be frugal. We have to be careful what we buy, those kind of things. But we do this, and we've been doing it since 2016, so that we can travel and make Jesus famous. That's our thing. That's the thing the Lord's put in our hearts. That's our passion, is making Jesus famous and traveling and being able to be flexible and available to the Lord as He calls us.
Amen.
Right? Yeah. So a little bit about the circumstances behind what caused us to do this. I had been researching for probably 6 to 8 months. I had been watching all the other YouTubers and just doing a lot of homework on full-time RVing. And meanwhile, we were living in a house and we were doing owner financing, trying to think of what that's called. And so we were doing owner financing, and suddenly our whole financial world seemed to crumble and crash because one thing after another, just one thing after another. And it's not that God brings on bad things, so to speak, but we believe that sometimes everything that can be shaken will be shaken, so that that which will remain can be remaining. And so we weren't supposed to remain in that house, and so Johnny ended up, business just slowed down, and then he ended up, a lady pulled out in front of him in his work truck and just totaled it, and there went our way of income. So the Lord had been calling us into full-time music ministry, but we were hanging on to that income, of His business. But when it started to crumble and we started to lose the business and lose the way of doing the business, which was the vehicle, then our only option became, it kind of gave us that little shove we needed to do and be obedient.
Plus, I had slowly began to change my mind about my business and about the work and just slowly, gradually changed my mind. And I think it was probably God that changed my mind about keeping that old house and hanging on to things. When in the end of time, I'll be able to say that I did what I loved and I enjoyed my life.
Right. So that's true. When we get to the end of our life, we're not going to be like, well, we regret stepping out and trying new things, and we regret, doing what we love. We're not going to say that. But we will say, if we don't do what we love and we don't step out, we might say, well, I wonder what would happen if we'd have decided to go ahead and launch out and do the thing that's in our hearts to do, that the Lord's put the passion in our hearts to do that. And so, you only get one life here on earth, and we believe that you should do what you're called to do and do it to the fullest and enjoy your life. This life is about it's about making the Lord famous and His kingdom come and His will be done, but He wants us to dream with Him. And so we're dreaming with God, and we want to challenge you that if the Lord has put a dream on the inside of your heart, if He's put a desire and a passion on the inside of your heart, we want to challenge you to step out in His timing. It was definitely His timing for us, but we want to challenge you to hear the heart of the Lord and to step out and to dream with God.
And a lot of times, whatever you step out in isn't going to be extremely easy, especially if there is opposition from, between good and evil. There is always opposition in whatever you do if it's worth doing.
Right.
And there has been opposition, but for the most part, we're not going to quit.
That's right.
We're going to win.
That's right. If you don't quit, you win, right? So yeah, so this life we're living, and we've been living it since 2016, it's a calling. We believe that we're called to be here, we're called to do it, and we've had family forsake us, we've lost friends, but Jesus said that if you lose family and friends and houses and cars and all this stuff for His name, that you would receive 100-fold in this life and in the one to come. So we're hanging on to that.
Amen.
So our main reason, we've told you why we do this, but as an added benefit, we get to enjoy our life and we get to make good memories as a family with our sons. We only have one left with us now, traveling, but we're making good memories. When they were little, we barely went anywhere. We went to work every day, came home, I homeschooled, and it was just a mundane life, but the Lord is allowing us to enjoy our lives and to do His work as well. And so I think that's pretty awesome.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear people talk about, other RVers saying, if you don't have a way at the end, you don't have a retirement, you don't have a way at the end to
get out.
To get out of this. If it don't work out for you, then you're doing wrong. Well, I'm not going to brag on myself or us or anything, but we're people of faith, and we're people of faith in God.
Mm-hmm.
And we've stepped out on the water in ministry with God, and I believe because of that, He will get us out if we need out.
That's right.
God will provide for us, and that's what's going on. That's our income with our ministry. That's how we make it. We sing, and we sing for our chicken leg, and so that's how it goes. But we're dependent on God, and God's going to provide and see us through. And you might think we're crazy for that, but that's just how it is.
Well, will we be doing this in 10 years? We don't know. Because if the Lord tells us to move a different direction, we're going to be willing to move that different direction.
But until then, enjoy.
We'll enjoy.
Carry on.
We'll carry on. We'll carry on doing this. So yeah, that's our why. Our why is ministry. Our why is a calling.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have the grace to do what we do. You can't really just launch out and do something like this and not have the grace to do it.
That's right.
But where God guides, He provides.
I remember ending my business and standing in I used to park my trailers and my trucks when I had them, and all that in the backyard where I used to live. And I remember standing in the middle of that yard and praying to God, and I said, God, I'm just tired of trying to hold it all together. And that's when my mind started to change about RVing and hitting the road and letting all the tie downs go.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we're free to hit the road when we need to.
Right.
And I like it.
I do too. And we don't have to worry about keeping up with the Joneses. We don't have to worry about, because it's not about things. This life is about people. It's about the hearts of people. And the Lord has us pursuing that. Okay, so tomorrow we have a milestone in our marriage. Tomorrow is our 24th anniversary. Seems more like 50 sometimes, but it's 24.
For those of you that's watching us for the first time, this is not my daughter. She's my wife.
I'll take it as long as I can get it.
I'll
Right.
give it.
All right. So we're going to be celebrating the Lord has redeemed us, and we will proudly proclaim what the Lord's done for us. He said, "Let the redeemed of the Lord say so." And so we're thankful for 24 years. We're thankful that the Lord has redeemed our marriage.
Amen.
You know, if you're out there and you are struggling in your marriage and you just feel like there's no hope, that spouse won't change, and that you just don't see anything happening, know that as long as you're still breathing, there is still hope. And the Lord, when you release that thing to the Lord, He can completely change the situation.
Sure
And that's
can.
what He did for us in 2010. The Lord completely changed our situation, and He's still making all things new.
He is. And,
Still.
there's been some rough roads, and I've been to blame, and had a lot of things to change, but God is good,
He's so good.
and He's been good to me, and I shouldn't be with this beautiful woman. I should be out, laying in the ditch or dead or something somewhere. So, but I'm not, and praise God for it.
Yes. So y'all take our challenge. If the Lord is stirring in your heart and you have a passion for something, what are you doing towards that thing? What are you doing towards your passion? What are you doing towards the things the Lord's called you to
Yeah,
do? We want to challenge you.
that's something else that helped me decide to end my business.
Yeah.
Was talking to a friend that I used to go to church with, big old guy, big old boy named Rodney, and me and him kind of hit it off. We were real good friends, and he was telling me about a new job that he had gotten driving a truck. He was going to make a little more money at it, and he was kind of excited about it. And then I started sharing my business with him, telling him about the failures, but then the music. I was telling him about how I enjoyed playing music and singing and stuff like that, and he said, well, what are you doing towards that? He said, what are you doing towards your music? What do you got going on? When he said that, it kind of hit me. What do I got going on? What am I going to do?
So it was our light bulb moment.
Yeah.
And we started from that day on, our lives were totally different. We started working. We did little things. So it doesn't necessarily have to be big things. Start with the little things and do the things that you can do today. And then tomorrow do another little thing. And then the next day do another little thing. Until eventually you'll be doing big things
That's right.
towards it. So we want to challenge you. Do what the Lord's called you to do.
Yeah, baby
Do
steps.
something.
Do baby steps
Baby
to your
steps.
dream.
Yes.
Baby steps to your dream.
Yes.
If you're still breathing,
There's still hope.